The indie author revolution has been around for more than a decade, but we indies continue to push the boundaries of what we're capable of. From getting over initial prejudices to staring down perfectionism and author imposter syndrome, we've become a force to reckon with. Indie authors now wear more hats than ever as we strive to create a career full of meaning, prosperity, and potential. We've juggled the demands and continue to be rebels in the face of adversity. Now, after years of hearing the shouts of hustle and grind, we indies are rebelling again. Gone are the days of publishing a book a month until we drop, and in its place are the seeds of a better way to rapid release. A way that feels incredible as we build a sustainable, lifelong author career that not only increases our visibility and royalties, but it's all done with intention and ease. If you're ready to buck the system and become the visionary authorpreneur I know you're meant to be, you've come to the right place. I'm Carissa Andrews, international best-selling indie author, and this is the Author Revolution Podcast. Well, hey there, and Merry Christmas from the Author Revolution Podcast. I can't believe we're already coming up on Christmas. I mean, literally, it's just a couple of days away, and I am not even really mentally prepared whatsoever. I mean, I look outside my windows, and right now we have so much snow, thanks to a big snowstorm that dumped a bunch of snow on us last week, knocked out power to much of the state of Minnesota, including our house, which was an interesting endeavor because we had to get our generator out and get the whole thing started. And oh my goodness, we're supposed to have more snow this week, but now on top of everything, it's supposed to be in the negative numbers for our high. So this is going to be a different kind of Christmas, I have a feeling, with cold weather, lots of snow, and hopefully bundling up inside the house and not going anywhere. That's the plan anyway. So hopefully you are going to have an incredible Christmas or holiday season, whatever it is that you celebrate right now. And maybe you're celebrating nothing. And if that's the case, I hope you just enjoy some time with your friends and family, or just curl up with a good book and enjoy being pampered by yourself for a little bit. Okay, so this week I've been kind of feeling a little bit off, and I don't know if it's seasonal weather stuff already coming in, because let me tell you, I am not going outside the way I do during spring, summer, and fall. And I know that January and February, if I'm not careful, I can definitely get that seasonal depression thing going on here in Minnesota. But I'm just kind of not feeling the vibe of things right now. I'm coming to the end of Ruins. Ruins is finished. It's book 4 in my Diana Hawthorne Psychic Mystery series. It's going out the door. It's already out to the beta readers and to the editor, and it's going to be dropping on Monday of next week. So December 26th is when it drops. But honestly, I'm not feeling the vibe of it as much as I normally do, and I'm not quite sure why that is. And so I've been thinking a little bit about, what do authors do to shift their vibe when things feel like they're not working, or they feel like they're not feeling good, if that makes sense. And it's not to say that I feel like my career is going bad. I don't. It's just that sometimes you feel a little off about it, right? Sometimes you feel like you want a little bit of something different. You know, this can come in the form of when you're working for another employer and all of a sudden you're just I'm just not feeling the vibe of it. You know, I want a challenge. I want something different. I want to do things that are going to make an impact, or however you feel, right? And sometimes those energies, those thoughts are there to push us in a new direction. They're there to push us to try new things and to spread our wings and to try to do something that maybe we've never done before, or even thought about doing before. So today I want to talk a little bit about what do we authors do when things aren't working? How do we shift our vibe from being one of maybe disappointment or feeling like I don't like this thing or I wish it was doing better, to something completely different, something that is more uplifting, something that is more high vibe, to get us in a place where we really feel confident and powerful in what it is we're writing and what we're trying to put out into the world. Because I think authors, we have this innate desire to have and leave an impact, right? We want our words to be powerful. We want our books to be received and thought about and talked about. And sometimes when things don't feel like they're going so hot, or if we're not seeing the results we wanted or expected, it can bring us down a little bit. And so I want to talk a little bit about like what I do, at least when I'm starting to feel like that. And I think these are things that have always helped me throughout my author career. And I think they're going to help you a lot too. All right, so tip number 1, when you're feeling like things aren't working and you just need to shift your vibe, it's my go-to every single time. It's to take a break. Sometimes we authors have this intense desire to keep pushing and keep pushing until we figure out what's not working or to push through the boundary of it. And there's this whole hustle culture that kind of has, I don't know, embedded that into our minds that like in order to win, you have to keep going. We have to push through. We have to push harder. We have to do more. And I really find that at least for creative endeavors or creative people, that is the opposite of what we need to be doing because our creative mind actually needs a rest. Our creativity, our inspiration, our innovation, it all comes from this place of well-being, of peace, of having a little bit of breathing room around us to be able to think through what it is we're trying to express. And we can't do that when we're pushing, or as Abraham Hicks likes to call it, efforting. So my number 1 tip, like I said, is to take a break. Take a little bit of a break from your writing, take a break from your efforting, take a break from whatever it is that you're trying to do to make things work the way you think that they should work. Like you can write yourself a note and say, okay, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, so that when you come back to things, you know where you were at and what you're trying to do. But maybe you're going to come back at it with a different perspective. Maybe if you give yourself a week or 2 weeks or even a day, you're going to come back the following day and have a different outlook on things because you've allowed your brain to relax, you've allowed your subconscious mind to kick in, and of course, the universe to flood you with some information that maybe you weren't in the right state to receive before all of that stuff went on. So take a break. Just enjoy some time off. Enjoy, especially this time of the year, right? Enjoy some time looking out those windows and seeing the beautiful snow on the trees, or enjoy some time with friends and family and talking about Christmas and the fun things that you're going to do, or go see the lights because there's so many beautiful lights out in the area. Do something to just take your mind off of things that you enjoy that's going to bring you hope and happiness and joy. And that in turn will elevate your state, your vibe. You're going to elevate that naturally by doing things that you love. And now, if money is an issue, one of the things I want to point out is that when you do anything that feels like joy to you, anything that brings you happiness, that brings you into that state of just peace, that is the frequency of money. Money comes through the joy of doing things. And so abundance flows when you are at your most high vibe, when you are at your most elevated state, feeling open and receiving. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like things aren't working, it's time instead to focus on what brings you happiness so that you can get into that place of joy and let your money flow naturally. All right, so tip number 2, write something completely different. Now that could be just for today. Maybe you just pick up a writing prompt and you write something different to kind of cleanse your mental palette. Or maybe you write in a journal and do something like that for a little bit. Maybe you haven't done that before, or maybe you haven't done it for a while and there's something that's weighing on your mind that you need to release. Or perhaps you just need to take a break altogether from the career that you've been focused on and try writing in a different genre. Try something new that excites you. Go to some place that is going to reignite the passion that you felt for writing in a way that maybe you haven't felt for a while. Now, this is something that I'm actually doing this coming year, and not so much because things aren't working again. It's just, I need a break. I've written over 20 books when it comes to this urban fantasy, science fiction fantasy side of me, and I'm just feeling like the need to do something a little bit different. I've mentioned this before, but I've had this idea pop into my brain about 6 years ago. It's a romance series, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm an urban fantasy writer. This is not my thing. But now that I'm at a place where I'm like burnt out and feeling like it's time to try writing in something different, kind of expand my writing, I don't know, portfolio, my muscles, my writing muscles. I don't know. I need to do something a little bit different. I'm feeling like, hey, now's the time I can give this a bit of a try and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen, right? So maybe think about writing in something completely different. Allow your imagination to be sparked again. Allow that curiosity and that drive for uncovering new things to help you shift out of anything that feels like it's not working the way you wanted it to, okay? Okay, so tip number 3 is to try a new promotional tactic. Now, I talk about this a lot in other podcasts where it's like if you get stuck and you need to do something that's going to help you shift whatever it is, like whether it's your author income, whether it's your author career, whether it is your writing, whatever, it's try something different that you haven't done yet. Now, try a different promotion tactic. If you've always focused solely on social media and you've never done anything like ads, try ads. If you've never run a newsletter, start focusing on your newsletter and start building an email list. If you have never focused on outreach in the community that you live in, try that. Do something that you've never done just to get yourself out there and to try new experiences, because you never know. You might find a promotional tactic that works so much better for you and no one else has really tapped into it yet. Or it just works better for you because that's where your heart is. I mean, think back to the podcast episode I did a couple of weeks ago with Alicia and Megan, where they talked about them moving into audiobooks was the best thing that they could have ever done because it makes up a good majority of their author income. So when you try something new, and maybe it's not the ordinary way everybody's teaching you to do it, if you're trusting your instincts and you're trusting who you are as a person and it feels good to you, that's the thing that you need to focus on. That's the thing you need to try out and just play around with. Remember, play is the way that we work when it comes to tapping into the universal energies and tapping into that high vibe energy too. When we play, when we just allow ourselves to like be in this playful energy versus I need to fix this thing and it's not working, new information flows to us and we get some cool, crazy ideas. And oftentimes it leads us down the path of least resistance. All right. So tip number 4, if you are feeling stuck and things aren't working, stop trying to do everything yourself. I talk about this often and I will keep saying it. Hire someone in the areas that you do not feel strong in. Your author career is a business and we need to treat it as such. So if there is an aspect of your career that isn't feeling good to you, that you're not breaking through, there are people out there who love doing exactly the thing that you hate doing. They love it and that's their passion and they're good at it. So stop focusing on the thing that's not working and hand it over to someone who knows how to do it better than you do. And that's okay. It's okay to trust them to take this thing and run with it while you focus on the things that feel good to you and you focus on the author career aspects that you're good at, which is obviously for sure writing the books, right? So if nothing else, focus on what you're good at, focus on what you love, and the rest will follow. All right, so tip number 5. This is the big one, guys. When things aren't working, don't sit and revel in the unhappiness of it. It's time to shift your mindset. Shifting your mindset into a place of clarity, into a place of understanding, enthusiasm, optimism, of passion for what you do. All of those emotional aspects are going to help you get back on track for what you really want. And so you need to start looking at what it is that's holding you back. Like, what are the thoughts that are going through your head that's telling you it's not working? And if it literally is just your thoughts telling you it's not working or this isn't growing, it's time to shift those thoughts. And sometimes when we're looking at those thoughts or we're telling ourselves those lies that things aren't working and it's just not moving as fast as you want, numbers don't always agree. And so take a look at your numbers. Take a look at what you've been doing throughout the year. Have you seen growth in any area of your author career? Have you seen growth in the number of sales or in the number of page reads or in the number of people who are signed up on your email list? Find the growth and remind yourself that yes, this is still in progress. This is still growing. I am getting better. Up and up only, my friend. We have to remind ourselves, especially when we're getting into that rut, feeling as though things aren't working, that we switch that around. We shift that gear and remind ourselves that, of course, it's working. It's always working out in our favor. And when we can concretize that in our mindset, that becomes our belief. Now remember, beliefs are just thoughts you continue to think. And so if you continue to think a thought like, these things aren't working, you're going to believe things aren't working. Okay? And so we don't want that. We want that energy to go away, and we want to remind ourselves over and over, things are working out in our favor. They are growing. We are seeing exponential growth. The right readers are finding us. We are doing everything we can at this moment to do what we need to do in order to grow our author business. My income is growing. My page reads are growing. Remind yourself of the aspect that you're really looking for. So if there is 1 or 2 or 3 things that you're using as a metric for whether or not things are working, look at them closely and remind yourself things are working. They are always adding up in your favor because they truly are. And the more you remind yourself of that, the more you believe it. The more you believe it, it becomes your vibration. Your vibration then attracts everything that you desire to you. And you need, my friend, to shift that energy in order to get what you really want. We have to think about in advance the things that we're wanting. So we need to imagine and visualize and be excited for the things coming to us. And look at it from a place of excitement rather than I'll never get there. Because if you act like that in your mind, you're never going to get there because you're always going to feel like you're spinning your wheels. And then you're going to tell yourself that, and it becomes this perpetual motion that reminds you over and over again that things aren't working or they're not going as fast as you want. And honestly, this is all about the experiences that we are coming up against, the aspects of our author career, our author journey, and what it is that we want. All of these things are leading us down paths that help us to become the author, the creator, the person that we want to ultimately be. And so when we embrace each and every one of the struggles and each and every one of the steps that we have to go through in order to become that person, the more powerful, the more incredible of a journey it is. So I need you to think about that as you're feeling like you're stuck and you're feeling like things aren't working and you really want to change. Just know that sometimes it is all in our mind. And when you can give yourself a little bit of space, like by taking that break or by doing something different for a while, or writing something different or trying something new, all of those things are shifting your mindset. They're shifting the way that you're looking at your current reality. And when we can shift that, all of a sudden new possibilities are opening all around us because we are no longer stuck in that vibration that things aren't working. And that, my friend, is so incredibly key. When I started shifting my thoughts from this, it's not working for me, or it's not, I always felt like I was stuck. I felt like I was treading water. And when I really understood that that mindset was keeping me stuck, and I started looking more toward the idea of it's always working out for me. There's always growth here. I am going up and up only. Things are getting better and better every single day. As I started implementing those thoughts more and more into my daily routine, into my daily inner commentary, I started seeing those shifts in reality, in real time. And so will you. So I really do encourage you to think about how you allow those thoughts to influence the way that you move through your day. Because, my friend, you're more powerful than you can even imagine. Your author career gets to be whatever it is you want it to be. It gets to be the place that brings you joy. It gets to be the thing that's easy for you. It gets to be the thing that is fun and enjoyable and still brings you money if that's what you want. But you, my friend, have to be clear on what it is you want your author career to do for you. You have to be clear on how it gets to work for you. And then you have to start reminding yourself of how that is and how it gets to be. Because it can't come unless you approve of it. It can't come unless you believe in it. And it can't come unless your vibration is matching it. All right? Okay. If you'd like to download the transcript to today's podcast episode, head over to authorrevolution.org/162. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas or holiday season, and I hope that you enjoy some time with a good book, with friends, with family, and you just enjoy and revel in the love that surrounds you. You are so loved. Even if you don't realize it, you are loved from afar, you are loved near, and you, my friend, have the most wonderful, amazing gifts to give to the world. So go forth, and start that author revolution.